The emergency alert cut through all channels on Earth. Screens in homes, offices, and public spaces flickered to the same image. People froze in the streets, looking up at giant displays showing the colony on Proxima Centauri burning. Commander Jeho stood motionless in the control room of Earth Defense Headquarters. His weathered face showed no emotion as he watched alien ships rain fire on humanity's farthest outpost. Around him, military officers shouted orders and technicians rushed to stations. Karak ships detected at the edge of the Proxima system 3 hours ago, said Colonel Park, pointing to the tactical display. They destroy our early warning satellites before we could send help. Jeho nodded. The aliens had been watching humans for years. They knew exactly when and where to strike. The view changed to footage from inside the colony. People ran in panic as walls crumbled around them. Strange creatures in dark armor moved with frightening speed, shooting anything that moved. They're broadcasting this to us, Jeho said quietly. They want us to see. The largest screen now showed an alien figure. It stood 7 feet tall with gray skin and 4 yellow eyes. When it spoke, its voice sounded like rocks grinding together. Humans of Earth, the creature said in rough English. I am Supreme Commander Gaul of the Karax Empire. Your colony has fallen. Your defenses are weak. Your weapons are primitive. The alien gestured to a row of human captives kneeling before him. Surrender now, or we will do the same to every human settlement. You have 7 Earth days to decide. The transmission cut off. The room exploded into shouting. We need to send the fleet. The fleet would take months to reach Proxima. We should negotiate. Negotiate. Did you see what they did? Jeho turned and walked out of the chaos. He entered a small, secure room and pressed his palm against a scanner. The door sealed behind him. He sat at a terminal and typed a code only 5 people on Earth knew. A woman's face appeared on the screen. Director Young, head of Earth's intelligence service. You saw? Jeho asked. Yes. The president is calling an emergency council in 1 hour. They'll want your recommendations. Jeho tapped his fingers on the desk. They'll expect me to suggest deploying the 3rd Fleet. And will you? No. The Karax want us to send ships. That's why they gave us 7 days. They're ready for our military response. Director Young narrowed her eyes. What are you thinking, Jeho? He looked directly at the camera. They expect warships. They expect soldiers. They expect heavy weapons and loud explosions. And I'm thinking we send them something they won't expect. Jeho pulled up a classified file on his screen. I'm thinking we send them Agent Hannah. Young's eyes widened. Shadow Protocol. For an alien invasion, she's just one person. Exactly. They won't be looking for one person. They'll be watching for our ships, our armies. Jeho's voice was calm but firm. The Karax want a war. Let's send them death instead. On the screen, a photo appeared of a woman with short black hair and calm eyes. Nothing about her seemed remarkable or dangerous. This was by design. Activate Shadow Protocol, Jeho ordered. Authorization code Lima 97 Tango. Director Young nodded slowly. Very well. I'll notify Dr. Ta to prepare her. In a small apartment on the other side of the city, Hannah sat cross-legged on the floor. Her eyes were closed in meditation when her secure phone buzzed. She looked at the message. Asterisk Shadow Puro Toxiol Activate asterisk. Asterisk REPORT. 2 FACLT asterisk. Asterisk priority Adolph asterisk. She stood in one fluid motion. In 20 minutes, her apartment would look like she had never been there. In 40 minutes, she would be underground at Facility 0. In 7 days, she would be heading toward an alien invasion force that had no idea what was coming. Humanity was sending its deadliest weapon, a quiet shadow named Hannah. Facility 0 lay 100 meters below Seoul's busy streets. Hannah stepped out of the elevator into a white hallway where Dr. Ta waited. The old scientist had been with her since the beginning. "It has been 3 years since your last mission," Dr. Ta said as they walked. "Are you ready?" Hannah nodded. "I am always ready." They entered a large room filled with screens and equipment. Commander Jeho stood in the center, looking at images of the Karax. "Agent Hannah," Jeho said, "thank you for coming quickly." "I serve Earth," she replied simply. Jeho pointed to the screens. "The Karax have taken our colony on Proxima Centauri. They killed thousands. They want us to surrender in 7 days." Hannah studied the aliens on the screen. They were tall with 4 arms and gray skin. Their yellow eyes seemed to glow. "The world leaders want to send warships," Jeho continued. "But that would start a war we might not win. I have convinced them to try something else first. To send you." Dr. Ta led them to another room. On a table lay a black suit and various small devices. "This is why we created Shadow Protocol," Dr. Ta said. "Why we trained you." Hannah remembered the day they found her. She was 8 years old, hiding in the ruins of her home after the resource wars. Both her parents had died. She was alone, hungry, but had survived by staying quiet and hidden. The Shadow Program scouts noticed how she could move without making sound, how she could find food where others saw nothing. "Your new suit," Dr. Ta explained, "can bend light around you. Not perfect invisibility, but close. It also masks your heat signature and can mimic Karax technology signals." Hannah touched the suit. It felt like liquid under her fingers. "We have studied the Karax since they first appeared near Jupiter last year," Jeho said. "They value strength and size. They will not look for a small human woman as a threat." Dr. Tai opened a case containing small silver discs. "These are your primary weapons, smart micro-explosives. They can attach to any surface and be programmed for various effects, from small distractions to large explosions." "What is my mission?" Hannah asked. Jeho's face was serious. "First, gather intelligence. Learn their weaknesses. Second, if possible, rescue our captured scientists. Third, disrupt their command structure." "You mean kill their leaders," Hannah said. Jeho did not flinch. "Yes. Show them that no place is safe from us. Make them fear shadows." Director Young entered the room with a small drive in her hand. "This contains all we know about the Karax, their biology, technology, language, everything." "How will I get there?" Hannah asked. "We have a ship ready," Dr. Ta said. "The smallest interstellar craft ever built, just big enough for 1 person and essential supplies. It has experimental stealth technology. The Karax will not see it coming." Hannah nodded and began to change into the suit. The others turned away to give her privacy. 20 years of training for this moment," Dr. Ta said quietly. "Do you remember your first day in the program?" Hannah closed her eyes. She remembered the cold room, the strict teachers, the endless tests. She had been scared then, but fear was trained out of her long ago. "I remember everything," she said. "I remember every lesson, every kill." The suit fit her perfectly. When she activated it, parts of her body seemed to disappear. "Your journey will take 1 month," Jeho said. "You will travel in suspended animation most of the way." Hannah looked at her reflection in a glass panel. The face that looked back showed no emotion. She was not a normal human anymore. She was a weapon made of flesh and technology. "If I succeed," she asked, "what then?" Jeho hesitated. "Then you come home." But they both knew the truth. Weapons rarely returned to their cases. They were used until they broke. "I will not fail," Hannah said. "I know," Jeho replied. "That is why you are our deadliest weapon." Hannah's ship left Earth quietly. No ceremony, no crowds. Just a small craft slipping away from a hidden launch site in the middle of the night. Inside the cramped cabin, Hannah prepared for suspended animation. The journey to Proxima Centauri would take 30 days with the new drive system. Too long to stay awake. Sleep cycle beginning in 5 minutes, the ship's computer said. Before she slept, Hannah loaded Dr. Tay's data files on the Carax. A hologram appeared showing their anatomy. 4 arms, dense muscle structure, 2 hearts, thick skull, weakness at neck joint and lower spine. She noted aloud, memorizing the locations. The hologram changed to show their armor and weapons. The Carax preferred close combat despite their advanced technology. They considered killing from a distance dishonorable. Honor is a weakness, Hannah said to herself. The sleep chamber hummed. Hannah closed her eyes as cool mist filled the small space. Sleep well, Agent Hannah, said the computer. On Proxima Centauri, Commander Gall toured the captured human colony. Bodies still lay in the streets. His soldiers were gathering the survivors. How many humans left alive? Gall asked his second-in-command. 312, replied Officer Mrek, mostly scientists and engineers. Gall nodded. Good. Bring the lead scientist to me, the one who designed their defense systems. In a makeshift prison cell, Dr. Sung sat with his head in his hands. 2 Carax guards entered. You. Come, one said in broken English. They took Dr. Sung to a room that was once his own office. Commander Gall sat at his desk. Dr. Sung, Gall said, I need information about Earth's defenses. I won't tell you anything, Dr. Sung replied. Gall's yellow eyes blinked slowly. You misunderstand. I am not asking. Halfway to Proxima, Hannah woke briefly as programmed. She checked the ship's systems and reviewed more files on the Carax. Their society was built on strength. Their leaders were the strongest warriors. They had conquered 12 other species before discovering humans. They expect direct confrontation, Hannah noted. They will not expect me. She studied the colony's layout, memorized air duct systems, power junctions, and security posts. She reviewed files on the human colonists, especially Dr. Sung and the security chief, Captain Da. Dr. Sung knows Earth's defensive codes, Hannah said. He must be protected or eliminated if rescue is impossible. Before returning to suspended animation, Hannah practiced with her weapons. The micro-explosives could be programmed for different effects. Some could knock out power. Some could create distractions. Others could remove Carax heads from Carax bodies. She also practiced with her suit's camouflage system. It could not make her completely invisible, but in shadows she would be nearly impossible to see. 10 days until arrival, the computer said. Returning to suspended animation, Hannah lay back down. Wake me 1 day before arrival. Dr. Sung screamed as the Carax device pulled information from his mind. Commander Gall watched with interest. Fascinating, Gall said. Human minds are fragile but complex. He resists well. Mrek noted. Most species break completely by now. Humans have strength we did not expect, Gall admitted, but it will not save them. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the base. What is happening? Gall demanded. Mrek checked his communication device. Our outer sensors detected something entering the system, but it disappeared. A malfunction. Perhaps. Or, Mrek hesitated. Earth may have sent a response already. Gall laughed. Good. Let them send their ships. We are ready for them. Should we increase security? Yes, double the patrols. I want to know the moment their ships are visible. Neither Carax noticed the tiny craft that slipped past their sensors, using the planet's magnetic field for cover. It was barely larger than an escape pod, designed for a single passenger. Inside, Hannah opened her eyes as the computer woke her. Arriving at Proxima Centauri in 24 hours, it announced. Hannah sat up and began her final preparations. She checked her weapons one last time, reviewed the colony maps once more. Begin approach sequence, she ordered. Maintain stealth protocol. As her ship moved silently toward the conquered colony, Hannah became what she was trained to be. Not a person, but a shadow, death given human form. The Karaks were looking for battleships. They would never see her coming. Hannah's ship landed silently in a damaged section of the colony. The area had been hit hard during the invasion and was now empty. Perfect. She stepped out wearing her special suit, which was already adjusting to match the colors and textures around her. She carried only what she needed: micro-explosives, a small knife, and a device that could hack into Karak systems. Position secure, she whispered into her communicator. The signal bounced back to Earth through quantum channels the Karaks couldn't detect. Hannah moved through the ruins like a ghost. She stayed in shadows, freezing when Karaks patrols passed by. They never looked closely at the dark corners. Why would they? They were the conquerors. After 2 hours, she reached the colony's main section. From a high point, she watched the Karaks. They had set up a command center in the colony's main building. Alien ships sat in the landing area. Karak soldiers marched human prisoners between buildings. Hannah's face showed no reaction when she saw humans being pushed and hit. She was trained to control her emotions, but deep inside, something cold and hard grew stronger. She spotted a Karak soldier walking alone near a power junction. He was checking equipment. Hannah decided this would be her first target. Moving silently across rooftops, she positioned herself above the alien. He was twice her size with 4 powerful arms. In direct combat, he would be difficult to defeat. But Hannah wasn't here for direct combat. She dropped a tiny device near a power cable. It looked like a small piece of debris. When the Karak soldier reached to check the power box, she activated the device remotely. A small spark jumped from the cable. The Karaks jerked back, then leaned in to look closer. The second spark was bigger, catching him directly in the eyes. As he stumbled back, temporarily blinded, Hannah dropped silently behind him. Her knife found the weak spot at the back of his neck. The Karaks made no sound as he fell. Hannah quickly dragged the body into shadows. She placed another tiny device on him. This one would speed up decay. By the time anyone found him, it would look like he died from an electrical accident hours ago. First objective complete, she whispered into her communicator, beginning infiltration of main facility. Using the building's ventilation system, Hannah made her way toward the center of the colony. Through small openings, she watched the Karaks at work. They were studying human technology, testing human weapons. Then she saw Dr. Sung. The scientist was being escorted from one lab to another. His face was bruised, and he walked with a limp, but he was alive. Hannah followed his group through the vents. They took him to a small room where he was left with a single guard. The guard stood by the door, his weapon ready. He seemed bored. Hannah watched him for 10 minutes, learning his patterns. He checked his communication device every few minutes. He shifted position regularly. He was trained well. From her position in the vent, Hannah placed a micro-explosive on the ceiling light fixture. Then she retreated several meters back in the vent system. When she triggered the device, the light exploded with a small pop. The room went dark. The guard looked up, confused. He said something in the Karak's language, probably calling for maintenance. Hannah moved quickly. As the guard looked up at the broken light, she slipped from the vent into the shadowy corner of the room. Dr. Sung noticed movement but wisely kept silent. The guard turned his back to check the door lock. That was his last mistake. Hannah moved forward, swift and silent. One hand covered his mouth while her knife found the weak spot in his armor. The guard collapsed without a sound. Hannah caught him and gently lowered his body to the floor. "Dr. Sung," she whispered, "I am Agent Hannah from Earth." The scientist's eyes widened. They sent just one person. One is all that's needed. Hannah checked the hallway. "Can you walk?" Dr. Sung nodded. "Yes, but where can we go? The colony is overrun." "Not all of it," Hannah said. "Captain Da leads a resistance group in the old mining tunnels. I need to get you to them." "Captain Da is alive." Hope filled Dr. Sung's voice. "Yes, and soon more Karaks will be dead." Hannah's voice was calm as she said this, not proud or angry, just stating a fact. She activated her suit's camouflage. To Dr. Sung, she seemed to fade into the shadows. "Stay close to me," her voice came from the darkness, "and make no sound." First blood had been drawn. The hunt had begun. Getting Dr. Sung out of the Karak's facility was harder than getting in. Hannah had to move slowly, hiding them both whenever patrols passed. The scientist tried to keep quiet, but his breathing was loud to Hannah's trained ears. After 2 tense hours, they reached the old mining tunnels on the colony's edge. Hannah tapped a pattern on a metal door hidden behind rocks. The door slid open, revealing a woman with a gun. "Password," the woman demanded. "Earth rises," Hannah replied. The woman lowered her weapon and let them in. Behind her stood Captain Da, a tall man with a scar across his face. "Dr. Sung." Day rushed forward to help the scientist. "We thought you were dead." "I would be," Dr. Sung said, "if not for her." He pointed at Hannah. Captain Dai studied Hannah with suspicious eyes. "Who are you? How did you get past the Karak's blockade?" "I am Agent Hannah. Earth sent me." "Just you? One person?" Dai laughed, but it was a bitter sound. "What can one person do against an army?" Hannah's face remained calm. "I can teach you how to fight them, how to hurt them, how to make them afraid." The underground room fell silent. About 20 people were there, all that remained of the colony's security force. They looked tired and hopeless. "Show us," Day finally said. For the next 3 days, Hannah trained the resistance fighters. She showed them the Karak's weak spots, how to set traps, how to move without being seen. "They are stronger than us," she explained, "but they expect strength to fight strength. We must be what they don't expect." On the 4th day, Day announced a plan. "The Karaks have set up a communication tower. We can destroy it and cut them off from their fleet." Hannah shook her head. "It's too heavily guarded." "We have explosives," Dai insisted. 20 of us can attack from different sides." "And how many will return?" Hannah asked. Day's eyes hardened. "This is our home. We're willing to die for it." Hannah saw the determination in their faces. They needed this fight, even if it was dangerous. "I will help," she said, "but we do it my way." That night, the resistance split into 5 teams. Hannah went with Day's team, which would plant the main explosive. The other teams would create distractions. They moved through the dark colony, avoiding Karak's patrols. Hannah's training had improved their stealth, but they were still not quiet enough. A patrol spotted one team and opened fire. Alarms blared across the colony. Karak soldiers rushed toward the sounds of fighting. "The mission is compromised," Daz said. "We need to retreat." "Complete your mission," Hannah told him. "I will handle the patrol." Before Dai could argue, Hannah activated her camouflage suit and disappeared into the shadows. The Karak's patrol, 6 soldiers, was moving toward Dai's position. Hannah circled behind them silently. She placed micro-explosives on the back of the last soldier's armor, then slipped away. The small explosion made no fire but created a sharp sound. When the other soldiers turned to look, their companion was dead on the ground, blood pooling from the perfect cut in his neck. "Weapon malfunction," one Karak said in their language. Another soldier fell, his neck cut from behind. The remaining Karaks formed a circle, weapons out. Their yellow eyes searched the darkness. "There is something here," one hissed. Another fell, silently. The last 3 fired wildly into the shadows. They hit nothing but walls. 2 more fell in quick succession. The last Karak soldier turned in desperate circles, shooting at every shadow. "What are you?" he screamed in his language. Hannah appeared directly in front of him, her suit deactivating for just a moment. "I am what humans send instead of armies," she said in perfect Karaks. Then she disappeared again. The Karaks never felt the blade that ended his life. When Day's team returned from successfully planting their explosive, they found the entire Karak's patrol dead. Hannah stood waiting for them, no blood on her hands or clothes. "How did you?" Dai started. "They never saw me coming," Hannah said simply. For the first time, the resistance fighters looked at Hannah with fear as well as respect. They had just realized what Earth had truly sent. Not a soldier, but a ghost. Not a weapon, but death itself. In the Karak's command center, Commander Gall received the report of 6 dead soldiers and a destroyed communication tower. "Find who did this," he ordered. "Find them now." Commander Gall slammed his fist on the table, cracking its surface. 3 days had passed since the communication tower was destroyed. Since then, 7 more Karak soldiers had died in what appeared to be accidents. "This is not coincidence," Gall growled to his officers. "Someone is hunting us." Officer Mrek nodded. "The resistance fighters are smarter than we thought." "No," Gall said. "These are not normal attacks. Look at the evidence." On a screen, he showed images of the dead Karaks. Each had a perfect wound at a weak point in their armor. No signs of struggle. No wasted movement. "This is the work of a trained killer," Gall said. "Someone who knows our weaknesses." "A human did this?" another officer asked, disbelief in his voice. Gall's yellow eyes narrowed. "Earth must have sent a special weapon." "Find it." In the resistance hideout, Hannah studied a map of the colony with Captain Dai and Dr. Sung. The resistance had grown to 50 people. More colonists joined each day as news of successful attacks spread. "The Karaks have brought in special hunter units," Dai said. "They have better sensors. They might detect your suit." Hannah nodded. "Then I must be more careful." Dr. Sung pointed to a building on the map. "They're keeping the colony's communication system here. If we could access it, we could send a message to Earth." "Too risky," Dai said. "It's their most guarded facility now." Hannah studied the building layout. "I can get in." "Even you can't beat 20 guards," Dai argued. "I won't fight them," Hannah replied. "I will become them." That night, Hannah approached the communication building alone. She watched the Karak's guards from the shadows. Their new hunter units wore special helmets with advanced sensors. Hannah waited until a guard walked near her hiding spot. She activated a small device that created a mild electrical disturbance. The guard's helmet sparked. He removed it to check the problem. In that moment of distraction, Hannah struck. Silent and quick, she dragged the body into darkness. She studied the helmet, then took a small tool from her belt. After making adjustments, she put the helmet on. It connected to the Karak's communication system. Now she could hear their transmissions. Even better, she could send her own. Hannah spoke softly into the helmet in the Karak's language. "Possible intruder in Sector 8. All units respond." She watched as half the guards ran toward Sector 8, far from the building. Next, she removed a device from her belt and placed it near the building's power system. When activated, it caused lights to flicker throughout the facility. While the remaining guards were distracted, Hannah slipped inside. The Karaks moved frantically, trying to fix the power problem. None noticed the shadow moving along the ceiling. Inside the main communication room, 2 Karak's technicians worked at control panels. Hannah studied their movements, then sent another message through the helmet. "All technicians report to Commander Gall immediately." The technicians looked at each other in confusion. "Did you hear that?" one asked. "Yes," the other replied. "We should go. You know how angry the commander gets when kept waiting." They left their posts. Hannah dropped silently to the floor and went to work. Her fingers moved quickly over the Karak's controls. She planted false information in their system. Reports of human ships that didn't exist. Warnings about attacks that weren't happening. Then she accessed the human communication system. She sent a quick message to Earth. "Colony infiltrated. Resistance established. Proceeding with disruption." As she finished, alarms suddenly blared. A voice came through her stolen helmet. "Intruder detected in communication center. All units respond." Hannah looked up to see a camera focused on her. The Karaks had spotted her. She heard heavy footsteps running toward the room. Dozens of soldiers were coming. Hannah smiled slightly. Now things would get interesting. She quickly placed micro-explosives around the room, then moved to a ventilation shaft in the ceiling. As the first Karak soldiers burst through the door, she triggered the explosives. The blasts weren't meant to kill, just create chaos and smoke. In the confusion, Hannah slipped into the ventilation system. As she crawled through the narrow space, she heard Commander Gall's voice through the helmet she still wore. "I want this intruder found. Double the hunter units. No one sleeps until we catch this human." Hannah's mission had just become more difficult, but she had accomplished her goal. The Karaks were no longer hunting the resistance. They were hunting her. 3 more days passed. The Karaks hunters searched everywhere for Hannah, but found nothing. Meanwhile, more of their soldiers died in mysterious ways. Equipment failed at critical moments. Weapons exploded in their hands. Commander Gall's patience was gone. He stood in the colony's main square, surrounded by his officers and 100 human prisoners. "Humans of Proxima Colony," Gall's voice boomed through speakers. "Your shadow warrior has caused enough trouble. Today it ends." Karak soldiers pushed 10 human prisoners forward. "I know you can hear me, assassin," Gall continued. "For every hour you do not surrender, these humans will die, one by one." Hidden in a damaged building across the square, Hannah watched through a broken window. Her face showed no emotion, but inside, something cold twisted. Her communicator vibrated. It was Captain Da. "Hannah, we saw the broadcast. What's the plan?" She thought for a moment. "I need a distraction. A big one." "Where?" "The landing field. In 1 hour." Hannah moved silently through the colony, avoiding the hunter units. She made her way to the main power station. The Karaks had doubled the guards there, but she had expected this. Instead of attacking directly, she climbed to the roof of a nearby building. From there, she could see the whole power station, and the first human prisoner being dragged to the execution area. Time was running out. Hannah took out her last micro-explosives and set them carefully, not on the power station itself, but on the power lines leading to the Karak ships at the landing field. When she activated them, the explosions were small. Most Karaks didn't even notice at first, but then the power to their ships flickered and died. Alarms blared across the colony. Half the guards at the power station ran toward the landing field. At that same moment, Captain Da and his resistance fighters launched their attack on the landing field. They fired stolen Karak's weapons at the ships. It was the distraction Hannah needed. She slipped into the power station through a maintenance door. Inside, she quickly moved to the main control room. 3 Karak's technicians worked at the controls. Hannah dealt with them silently and efficiently. Then she began pressing buttons on the control panel. Across the colony, power shut down in sections. The prison cells opened. The weapon systems failed. The Karak's communication systems went dead. In the main square, Commander Gall received urgent messages from all directions. His carefully planned execution was falling apart as chaos spread through the colony. "Find that human," he roared. "Find her now." Then the large screen behind him flickered to life. Every screen in the colony showed the same image. Hannah's face, looking directly at the camera. "Commander Gall," she said calmly, "you wanted to meet me. Here I am." Gall's 4 fists clenched in rage. "Where are you, human?" "I am everywhere," Hannah replied. "In every shadow, behind every corner. I could kill you right now if I wanted to." "Then why don't you?" Gall challenged. "Because I want you to deliver a message to your leaders," Hannah said. "Earth doesn't need armies to defeat you. We don't need massive ships or thousands of soldiers. We only need to send one shadow." The screen went dark. Then every light in the colony shut down at once. In the darkness, screams erupted as Karak soldiers fell to unseen attacks. Not killed, just disabled, their armor cut at key joints. When emergency lights came on minutes later, the human prisoners were gone. The resistance fighters had used the blackout to free them. Commander Gall stood in the square, surrounded by injured soldiers. For the first time in his long military career, he felt something new. Fear. In his command center, Gall pounded his fist on a table. I want every hunter unit searching. Find this human. Officer Mrek approached cautiously. Commander, we have tracked the resistance fighters. They appear to be heading to the old mining facility. Gall's eyes narrowed. Prepare all troops. We will crush them all at once. As the Karak's forces prepared for battle, none of them noticed the small shadow that slipped aboard Gall's command ship. Hannah had a new plan now. The evacuation of the colonists was just the beginning. The real hunt was about to start. Inside Commander Gall's ship, Hannah moved like a ghost. The Karaks were too busy preparing for their attack on the mining facility to notice her. She placed small devices on key systems, engines, weapons, life support, not to destroy them yet, but to be ready. Meanwhile, at the mining facility, Captain Dad organized the rescued colonists. Over 200 people were now safe in the deep tunnels. Dr. Sung worked to set up defenses using technology salvaged from the colony. The Karaks will find us soon, Day told his people. We need to be ready to evacuate deeper into the mines. Dr. Sung approached him. I received a message from Hannah. She says to be ready to move everyone in 3 hours. Move where? Dai asked. There's nowhere left to go. Dr. Sung smiled slightly. She says we're taking back our colony. On the command ship, Gall addressed his officers. The humans are hiding in the mining facility. We will attack with everything we have. No survivors. Officer Mrek looked concerned. Commander, should we not capture some for questioning? The Earth government would. The Earth government will learn their lesson when we send back nothing but bodies. Gall interrupted. This colony is lost to us. Too many security breaches. We must make an example of these humans before we move on to their home planet. As he spoke, Hannah listened from inside a ventilation shaft above them. She recorded Gall's words and transmitted them to Captain Da. This was the evidence Earth needed. The Karaks were planning to attack Earth next. When the meeting ended, Hannah followed Gall to his private quarters. The Karak's commander sat heavily in his chair, rubbing his eyes. Even alien invaders got tired, she noted. Gall touched a control panel. Bring me the status report on the human assassin. A voice replied. Still no sign of the target, Commander. Impossible. Gall slammed his fist down. No human can hide this long. Check every. I'm not hiding, Hannah said quietly. Gall spun around. Hannah stood in the corner of his room, her camouflage suit deactivated. She looked small compared to the massive Karak's commander. You. Gall reached for his weapon. I wouldn't, Hannah said. I've placed explosives throughout your ship. One wrong move and everyone dies. Gall stopped, his yellow eyes studying her. You're smaller than I expected. Size isn't everything, Hannah replied. Why show yourself now? Gall asked. Why not just kill me? Because I want you to understand something before you die. Hannah stepped forward. You thought humans would be easy to conquer because we're physically weaker than Karaks. But strength isn't just about muscle and size. Outside the ship, explosions suddenly lit up the night. The resistance fighters had begun their attack on the Karak's ground forces. Gall laughed. Your friends are brave but stupid. My soldiers will crush them. Your soldiers can't fight what they can't see, Hannah said. On his screen, Gall watched in shock as his troops fell in confusion. The resistance fighters weren't attacking directly. They were using Hannah's tactics, striking from shadows and disappearing. What are you? Gall asked, genuine fear in his voice. I am what humans send when we don't want to start wars, Hannah said. I am what we send when we want to end threats quietly. Gall lunged at her suddenly, his 4 arms reaching out. Hannah moved like water, flowing around his attack. Her knife found the weak spot in his armor at the base of his spine. Gall fell to his knees, paralyzed but still alive. The Karak's value strength. Hannah said, standing over him. Humans value efficiency. She activated a device on her belt. Throughout the ship, small explosions disabled weapons and engines. The ship was dead in space. Your invasion is over, Hannah told the dying commander. Your troops are in chaos. Your ships can't fly. With his last strength, Gul asked, "What will you do now?" Hannah walked to the door. "I'll disappear. And your people will always wonder when the next shadow will come for them." She activated her camouflage suit and vanished from sight. The last thing Gul saw before darkness took him was nothing at all. Outside, the colony's lights began to come back on one by one. The resistance had won.